Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I have a journal I wanted to show you really quickly. It's got a big ruffle on the front. I better go ahead and say that because I'm sure you can see it. Let's just open this and show you the outside. So it is made from a lot of sort of shabby rose colored and off-white colored fabric. It's tied with hemp cord and you can see the beautiful glass beads here. I love those. There is a dragonfly here. Here is a safety pin that's just put through the center of the cover, and it has got one of the tassels that I just made earlier with a video tutorial about these little tassels. And it would appear that I have, there we go. I was messing with the string earlier and I think I got the tassel caught up under the top of that. So there's a handmade flower on the front, and here is a bracelet that is, it was taken apart or coming apart. So I just went along and stitched at intervals with a zigzag stitch to put that down over the top of the stitching on the ruffle. And of course, we've got cotton fabric on the inside and the outside. Now, I don't use a lot of plaid, but I thought this was such a pretty like complement and contrast to the rose, and it's got the gold, the sparkly gold thread in it. Safety pin to the inside is just a ribbon with a little bright sort of bauble. That was part of a necklace that I took apart, and I've been using that on journals, and I think that's the last piece left. This little tag that was already on it, it looks like it's got NY, maybe that's for New York. I'm not sure. You can see that the ruffles come out a little bit further than the journal, and that's kind of fun to me. You can use safety pins to put things there. I just added a little embellishment with a piece of the fabric from the ruffle, and there is a button. Is it mother of pearl or abalone? I'm not sure, but it's, you can see it's really beautiful. It's got that shimmer. And then in here are just a couple of pieces of paper for you to work with. You can see this very old fabric inside here. Over the weekend, I was able to buy some feed sacks and flour sacks, and that is from one of those. And just inside, some of the pages, so like that's one I printed, and that is a collage page that I had made for one of the e-zines a couple of years ago. And some of the pages do have a little bit of distressing, but this is mostly just a plain journal. There's a piece of wallpaper, and that is something I printed recently. It's a page of old ads, and that is an old typed recipe. Let's see, that's something I printed. That's some old ledger paper that I scanned, and it had some flower petals that were tucked inside the book and pressed that I just photocopied onto that. But I didn't do a lot of distressing of the book overall. Like some of the individual pages were distressed. There's just a tea bag that's laying in there. But there is a lot of blank space for you to just completely make this yours. This is a guest check that I did a little collage on, and I'll have a video soon of more of these. That was a really fun project. Here is a beautiful garden page from a calendar. I think this was from the 70s. Oh, 80s, 82, very early 80s. So that's just laying in there. And there's a butterfly stamp. This little clip has got underneath it just a piece of scrapbook paper, and then there's a card, like a flash card with the butterflies on it. This is mostly a nature theme or botanical theme. It does have some beautiful images in it, but you know, with the cover, the dragonfly on the front, and the butterfly card, and the colors, and it just feels pretty natural to me. Oh, that was fun. Paper money, US money, and you see it's made in China. That's so funny to me. That was just some toy money that I tea stained and distressed. And then let's see, getting in the center, it's just a piece of transparent paper. Not sure if that's vellum. And then we've got an ink stamp there. And this was just an old piece of ephemera from 1967. It looks like a church record of some kind. And then just more space for you to work. That's a piece of is that wallpaper or scrapper paper? Let's see real quick. I think that was a book page. I think that was one of the pages on the inside, front and back, right inside the cover. And just lots of really pretty paper. That's a page that I had worked on my art desk. And there's just a little image that I printed from an old piece of music. And just moving on. Here is a pretty little card with the fairy on it. And that's blank on the inside. And then here's a tag I made with some really cute fabric. That fabric was used to make a journal, and this was a little piece that was left over. So I just stitched that onto a piece of cardboard, and it is sitting under here, under this rusted paper clip. And then there's a little metal button on that paper clip. That is an image that was stamped onto the page, and then I just glued a piece of scrap paper at the bottom of that. Oops. There is the other half of that page that I printed. And then here is a piece of notepad that has got the bee on it. And I have really had fun drawing these bees. That's a really good bee to practice by. It's very easy to look at, and it's got all these landmarks, like where to put the lines and then how to put the wings and the legs coming out at different points. So I thought that was a really useful tool. There's the other part of the ad page. And then there's a junk mail envelope with the window. I love using those, and I just distressed that and put it in. And there's paper doily. This is a page that's got some ink stamping on it. And there's the other half of that vellum page that was printed on. And then there's a really neat postcard. You can see the people sitting around playing cards in front of the cafe. And then that's just one of the images I printed. That's one of the paintings I did when I was practicing faces. And there's a fun little tag. It came off some keys. It says employee entrance, Elm Street. And that is that. There's my stamp on the back. So this is one of those in the style I like. It's kind of messy. It's meant to be loved and worked in. It has the tassel, the beautiful glass beads, kind of a botanical cover with the ruffles. And this is definitely from a vintage linen. And I have more of this ruffle. I'm going to try to list some here pretty soon. And then the flower. And I think there's about 22 folded pages in here, something like that. So maybe, 80 pages front and back, if you count every single, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one is currently available. Thank you so much for looking. I really appreciate it. I will be back really soon. Bye for now.